Welcome to an overview of the Galvanick platform, where customers gain insight to potential attacker activity and the historical tracking of assets and entities identified within their ecosystem. To begin, after secure login, the dashboard page gives the user an overview of the current state of monitoring and threat detection within their environment. Please note that this overview is using a lab environment and is noisier than normal because we are actively running red team engagements against this platform. On the dashboard, open critical and high-severity findings are highlighted. Also, time series data is shown describing the amount of data ingested and findings identified, with variable settings for the displayed time frame. Let's first go to the Assets tab. The landing view for assets is the asset map, which provides a breakdown of the assets within the environment and the relationships between assets and entities. For example, we can see here within the lab environment we have a PLC. When we hover over the asset, brief details are shown. When we click on the PLC, we are taken to the Asset Details page. From here, we see a summary of the attributes for the PLC, such as vendor, model number, serial number, and IP address. In the upper right-hand section, we see a visualization of the communications to and from the asset within the environment. Now, let's take a look at a point of interest for all assets, the related findings. For this overview, we will choose to explore the open Siemens controller download finding. Clicking on it will take us to the findings detail page. Detection findings are the heart of the platform. Unlike other threat detection systems which alert on every event without context, the Galvanick platform correlates data across multiple data sources and events to present the user with a single finding and complete information designed to minimize additional investigation. As we look through the information of this finding, we first see a summary of what was found and why it is important. Then we are provided context on how the finding was identified. As we move further down the page, a description of the severity level is provided, as well as recommended response actions to validate if the finding is a threat actor or is expected system behavior. Galvanick also recognizes many of our users are not OT cybersecurity specialists, so we provide technical context to help them better understand the technical context around the observed events. In addition, we provide the linkage between the observed behaviors and how this fits within the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Moving further down the page, Galvanick's tenet of truth in tooling is demonstrated. We provide users with an explanation of how the finding could be a false positive, the blind spots and assumptions within the detection methodology, as well as prescriptive steps an individual can take to recreate the event and trigger the detection finding. Coming back to the top of the page, a cybersecurity risk investigator may want to dig deeper into the forensics of the finding. The Details tab provides the complete details of each event. Users can click on the event and then review the complete event details. The user will also likely want to know what are all of the assets involved in the finding. The Related Assets tab shows us these items. Here, we can see the operator workstation. When we click on it, we then go to the detail page for this asset. We can again see all of the attributes for this asset. In addition, we can look at the related findings to see all of the attacker activity that has happened on the asset and is being tracked, providing further insight to the behaviors of a potential attack and the exposure throughout the environment. Thank you very much for your time. You now have a better understanding of how Galvanick delivers customers insight to potential attacker activity and the historical tracking of assets and entities identified within their ecosystem.